I went on social media last night during the rain delay, and people are trying to defend the guy who spit in somebody's
Yeah, I
face.
know. It's absurd.
Like,
It's
come on.
Stop complaining about officials. Jesus, it's baked in. You're going to get some calls that go for you. You're going to get some calls that don't. Get over it. Control what you can control. Jeff, am I right or am I wrong?
You're not wrong. I mean, I can't believe I went on social media last night during the rain delay, and people are trying to defend the guy who spit in somebody's face.
Yeah, I know. It's absurd.
Like, come on. I almost felt like John, this is a perfect example last night. This has nothing to do with Prescott or Carter, by the way. I literally just posted news about what the National Weather Service told, what they told us at the game and what it said on the billboard, and people still didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm like, so are you at the game? Well, no. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm telling you, it's. By the way, John, did you hear Prescott's explanation of it?
Yeah,
I
did.
Yes,
I did.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Did you buy that?
Yeah, I don't either.
That's my take too. I didn't buy Prescott's BS, but I don't really care. Jaylen Carter should. That doesn't change anything in my eyes for Jaylen Carter.
If Dak Prescott was, I don't know what people assume. If he was spitting at Jaylen Carter's feet purposefully, let's pretend that happens. I'm still going to rip Jaylen Carter.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. And because you impacted your team. We can talk about the human element and those things and being a man and someone spits at you and you're okay, fine. We're talking about a team. You're talking about a guy who wants to become the highest paid defensive player in football. You have a different set of expectations that come with that. And if you don't live up to them, you're going to get criticized. And I think that's completely fair. I thought that was really dumb.
And you know what, Zander? Here's the thing. Like, I'm in the national media point of view, right? You know what people were talking about last night in our Slack room? Oh, he hasn't changed from the Georgia incident.
Yeah, well, that's part of it too. Everybody says that. Everybody goes back to that.
Yeah, fair or not, it's part of his story.
Well, and it's completely unfair, which I will defend Jalen, because I think Jalen's a good dude.
And I defended him last night to those same people, and they said, I don't care. I said, well, okay, you have a right to not care, but this is the story.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if he wants to be, and he certainly wants to be, and I was talking to Sal Palantonio about that before the game, like he's going to be the highest paid defensive player in football, passing Micah. I think a lot of people have that thought process. I'm like, well, there's a chance, but he's got to do everything right. And he didn't get off to a good start.
Yeah, he can. By the way, this is the same Jaylen Carter who has 5 unnecessary roughness penalties.
Yeah. And once you get that reputation with those officials that you hate so much, that's real. They will be more apt to throw. And Cilio brought up Ndamukong Suh. How good of a guy was Ndamukong Suh when he was here? I'm like, when he first walked into the locker room, I was telling that story last night. I'm like, oh boy, do I want to deal with this guy because of his reputation? It's like, is this going to, I was like, is this going to be difficult to deal with this guy? And he's the freaking nicest guy in the world.
Yeah. He said at the Super Bowl how much he appreciated how we welcomed him in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, good dude. Anyway, so perception is different from reality, and his perception is that he's unhinged, and that becomes reality if you don't clean it up.
And I mentioned in my column today about the incident last year with when he hit Hayward in the helmet during and the whole Nick Sirianni Clint Hurt thing. Which, by the way, talking about bearing the lead, that was the day AJ Brown made the passing comment. Oh no, that was the weekend. That was
the Carolina game.
That was so that's all you wanted to. That's what you wanted to see, Dave. Yeah, that's right. I'm getting my days mixed up.
Yeah.
Jeff, what'd you make on the field? I mean, I think that obviously changed the game completely. Defense was, tale of two halves, though, Jeff. 41 of the 44 points in the football game came in the first half. It kind of included everything, Jeff. As we anticipated, it was ugly. Again, as we expected. I think the beauty of the situation, if you're the Eagles, is you get out of there 1-0. All right. But tale of two halves included everything, including a weather delay in half number 2. What'd you kind of make macro of the football game and how it unfolded last night?
So Jordan Mailata would actually correct you there, Zander. He said, which second half? He said there were two of them. You know,
Yeah.
Which one we talking about?
Talking pre-delay versus post. Yeah, well,
yeah. I mean,
I
they were
was
in there for
wondering
an
that
hour.
when I was wondering that we were on live on the Green Zone here on JAKIB Sports when the delay was happening, and we were discussing that. You know, how does this impact the players right now? Because kind of just have a halftime, you come back out, and now you're in the locker room for anher 30, 40 minutes. I mean, I don't know how long the delay was. Do you guys have
it was an hour and 4 minutes.
Hour, yeah, just over an hour. Yeah, it was pretty long.
Yeah, it was.
It was not good. It was not good. It was
it was John and I knew we were in for a long night, and I mean
Yeah. I was joking. Jeff was there. I got a lot of shit for asking about Jake Elliott late in the press conference because everybody wanted to go home. But I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that was a big play in the game.
It was a big play.
To kick that 58-yard field goal, that completely shifted things. Think about it, if he misses that, you give up the field position, but also you have a 1-point lead. Then Dallas only has to get a field goal, completely shifts the game. So I thought, and Braden Mann was big too. Braden Mann had a great day. Great day. So special teams was a big part of it.
I'm glad Nick did mention that. By the way, I'm still upset because I was ready to ask Nick about Jahan Dotson, and he just decides to do it himself.
Yeah. Well, sorry, bud.
It is what it is. You know what? Nick was upset too. It's 1:15 at night.
I'm a Nick go-to guy. If I get the eye contact, I'm
well, no, he mentioned Dotson before he even got to you.
Oh yeah, he did. Well, yeah, he said. By the way, Nick shouldn't be doing that. But by the way, Nick, don't tell people what to ask. Which he did a little bit. Well, you should be asking, and then he brought up Jahan Dotson because he was trying to deflect from AJ and Devontae not getting the football. Look, I've been talking about Jahan Dotson all summer. How many times have I said this guy could play, Zander?
A lot.
A
lot.
And, he's not going to get a high volume of targets because of where we are with this team. But when he's got an opportunity to make a play, he generally makes it. Unlike
he admitted last
Watkins,
night. Yeah, Dotson admitted last night, like Jalen told him, hey, just so you know, quarter's up. And that was kind of the signal to him. And he said, you couldn't have thrown a more perfect ball than what Jalen threw.
Oh, that was beautiful. That ball.
That ball popped off his hand, man. That thing was launched by Jalen. That was great.
He's the best deep ball thrower in the NFL. I firmly believe that.
Oh, by far.
That's a bold statement there too, John. I mean,
it's not that bold.
Right, but it's a bold statement. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in this football league.
He has the most deep ball touchdowns and the most and the highest deep ball passer rating over the last 3 years. So it's not that bold.
Jeff, I said last night, speaking of Jalen Hurts, as we're on the subject, I mean, I don't think they even come close to winning that football game without him. And people love, John, you elaborated on this beautifully in the postgame show, where when you look at the stats, you're not going to be enamored by Jalen Hurts that much. He's not that type of quarterback. But when you watch the games, you quickly realize what type of impact he has on the football field, especially with this team. What'd you make of Jalen Hurts' performance last night?
I thought he was great. I mean, honestly, it just felt like a typical Jalen Hurts game. He had the most scrambles he's ever had in a football game. He had 2 scrambling touchdowns. He was just what I really liked is he didn't try to force anything. If there was something underneath, he took it. If they had a deep shot, he took it. He only took one, but he took it. And look, AJ Brown was covered most of the night. It was very, and AJ Brown alluded to that. He said, "Look, we won the game," and I'm sure it'll be talked about later this week. They still got some things to correct here. But look, I thought Jalen did a masterful job at just controlling the game, making sure this team doesn't lose. And Nick Sirianni is right. We preach about turnovers. Well, the Eagles didn't have any, and the Cowboys had one.
That was a big one.
That was a huge one.
And Zach Bond, I think, deserves a ton of credit for chasing down Miles Sanders to create that extra opportunity. And then whether it was Byron Young or I think it was BY, or Jahad Campbell, they were both involved. So
I had the Checo smiling during that play because he said Bond's going to catch him. He said, or maybe not, and then he caught him. And I said, you're underestimating your own ability of football.
That was impressive by Zach Bond. That run.
It was, and
that was real impressive.
I think he could have caught him earlier too, but he was trying to punch the ball out as well. I think.
And Miles has 12 career fumbles, so it's not a bad strategy. By the way, How about Jahai Campbell last night?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
it was great. It was
Yeah.
great.
I mean, the highlight play from him, obviously, Jeff, was when he drops back 30 yards in coverage and breaks up a pass to Jake Ferguson. Because one of the things that most linebackers, I'm not picking on Jihad, most linebackers struggle, in coverage, especially early in their careers when they're getting acclimated. I thought that was a really good play, man.
Well, that's exactly what you're trying to do. Get the tight end, mix down the seam on a linebacker.
Right.
You shouldn't be able to. And Zach had what play like that too, where it's 30 yards or so.
And Dak threw 2 really good balls. Again, it's going to get lost in the show. I thought Dak Prescott played really well last night.
Oh, he played great. Yeah.
It's not his fault CD Lamb dropped 4 passes.
Four passes, and they were not, those were crucial passes.
And two of them should have been picks. Like
three of those drops were easy catches.
Yes.
The last
one was real tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy catches. I mean,
that deep one down the middle on third down late in the fourth quarter. That was a perfect throw by Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
I mean, perfect.
Yeah, it goes right off his hands.
Over 2 defenders. I mean, in stride. I couldn't believe he dropped that.
You know what, guys? It's funny, right? Because we like to talk about how good A.J. Brown is amongst his peers, amongst the best in the NFL. A.J. Brown had 1 catch for 8 yards, and you could say he had a better night than CeeDee Lamb did. And CeeDee Lamb dominated.
Yeah. Well, I don't, but that's the Eagles offense. Like I started this show, Jeff. Here's where I am with the Eagles offense. You shouldn't be able to win this way, but they do.
They do it all the time.
At some point, other teams can't. One of the things I always say about all these lists, and another one came out from I forget who, and Jalen was 8. They're all very consistent. And the reason why I think they're consistent is because they're interviewing other GMs and other executives who can't play like the Eagles play and don't want to play like the Eagles play. So they can't win games by throwing for 154 yards. So they look at the Matthew Staffords and the Jared Goffs and the Justin Herberts and say, oh, that's what I need. So I think they're looking at the lens through what they need versus what the fit Jalen Hurts is for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm sure it bothers them too when someone like me puts out a stat. The Eagles have won the last 15 games. Jalen Hurts has started and finished. Oh, by the way, Jalen Hurts has 38 total touchdowns to 4 turnovers during that span. I mean, there's a reason why this is happening.
Yeah, there is, but it doesn't resonate everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Most teams can't play the way the Eagles play. Period. They cannot play the way the Eagles play and win games, which makes it very unique. And I'm at the point where, all right, I'm just not going to look at the stats. And I came out of that game saying Jalen Hurts played very well. Now, you can spin the numbers and say, this isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. But to your point, what is it, 15 out of 15 now?
Yeah, 15 out of 15.
I mean, at some point, I hate to go all Jalen Hurts on people. Isn't that the goal?
Yeah.
The goal is to win. That's what his goal is.
Absolutely.
By the way, how about Jalen Hurts bringing the ultimate winner to the game last night?
Yeah. He's not the ultimate winner, by the way.
No, they judge him as that.
Bill Russell, Yogi Berra. You know how many people have won more titles than Bill Russell's got 11.
You're not a Jordan guy. Every time we talk about Jordan, you jump into correct.
First of all, well, because I think people have a very short view of history.
Well, history started when they were born,
exactly.
or what they've seen.
Exactly.
I've never seen Bill Russell. So
I didn't see Bill Russell either. I'm not that old, but I know he won 11 damn titles in 13 years.
That's a lot of titles, man. That's a lot of titles.
I know enough people that lived in that era and they're still living at. Still tell me to this day, Will Chamberlain was twice the player.
Oh, Will was a better indivital player. Yeah. Well,
but they don't discredit Russell. They're like, hey,
no.
Guy won.
Well, the difference, if Wilt was going to average 35 and 20, Russell would hold him to 25 and 15.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Like
But
the Sixers would lose or the Warriors would lose conference finals, and Wilt would average like 40 and 20.
yeah,
They just
yeah.
didn't have any. They had good players around. They're
No,
just not like Boston.
I'll push back on Xander. I never dispute Michael
No,
Jordan.
no,
Is
I
one
wasn't
of the
saying you.
greatest players of all time, of any sport. But I do think when people say the ultimate winner, I think that's very short-sighted. I think there's a bunch of guys who have won more, and that's the thing. Tom's probably in that category as well. Tom technically has more than Michael, right?
Yeah, he does. He's got 7.
Yeah, 7, yeah.
Well, how many years did Tom play?
20, 24, 25?
It was what I always say. You're always going to lose your last game more than you win it. Tom did. Michael lost it more than he won it. Bill Russell didn't.
Michael could have
Bill
walked
Russell,
away
baby.
with the winning shot, and he decided, no, I got to come back again.
All right, I don't want to get on a Jordan.
Yeah, I'm on a tangent.
But Jeff, I do want to take you to the defensive side of the ball. It was the side of the ball that we had a lot of questions on coming into the year.
And we still have a lot of questions on it.
That's where I was at. I was going. Did you answer any questions? Has more questions emerged? What'd you make of the defensive performance? But I will say this, and this is me personally. I don't know how you guys feel about this. I'm viewing the entire defensive performance through a clouded glass because of Jaylen Carter's out. I think he would have changed everything. It's hard to judge almost anybody on that defense without that player. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to persevere. Doesn't mean you can't be judged for your performance. But for me, it clouds it a little bit. What'd you make of the defense in that game?
Well, I'll say this, too, with Jaylen Carter. I thought the rain delay was huge for Moro Jomo and Jordan Davis, who looked absolutely gassed.
Good point.
By the time that happened, and all of a sudden, Moro's getting pressures. Davis again. Davis should have had a sack on Prescott last night. I thought Davis actually played really well in spite of everything that happened. And I kind of wish he would have talked last night because of that. But
he was banged up.
Oh, yeah.
He had to go with the medical guy.
I don't blame him. I mean, he played, like 89% of the snaps?
Yeah.
I mean, Moro played 91, 92, John. I think it was like he only missed 6 snaps.
Yeah, he played almost the whole game. So he played like that's what Jaylen Carter would have played typically, that level of snaps.
Byron Young had a good game too.
Byron Young had a very good game. I mentioned him. I was impressed with it. To Zander's point, but I mean, Jaylen Carter put him in that position. That's the whole.
No, I agree. I'm not using it as an excuse, but I am using it as context for the defensive performance.
I think we learned, Zander, this defense cannot afford to have someone like that get hurt or anybody like that get hurt, or else they're going to be in major trouble.
All right, your Adoree Jackson alarm on 1 to 10. How high are you on Adoree Jackson is the worst cornerback of all time, or settle down, which would be 1?
I mean, my alarm was at 20 before the game started. It just confirmed what I already knew. I mean, this is the best they got.
I defend Adoree a little bit, partially because I think people are so over the top that he's the worst cornerback in the history of the world. I just don't think he is.
No,
I don't think he is either.
He's not, but he is going to be the guy that gets picked on all year for the Eagles.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't you?
No, I know.
No, they should pick on Howie Roseman for that malpractice of what they have out there.
Well,
how dare you?
I don't know. But look, Howie's in a tough spot. Do you agree or no? I mean, maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking. I think Howie's trying to gauge having a great roster.
Or can I throw in? Can I throw in? Maybe people are a little bit spoiled by having Slay and Mitchell and DeJean last year, and think that's normal.
No, I mean, you were gonna miss Darius Slay. By the way, Darius Slay was awesome tweeting during the game last night.
I
didn't even check.
Oh, it was great. It was great. He felt like a play-by-play guy. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, he still wants to be here.
I know.
I want to go to a super chat, guys. We got a huge super chat. So I want to thank Big Marshall, but there's some good topics in here I want to hit you guys with. Big Marsh, thank you, brother, man. $50 super chat. We appreciate it. He says Adoree is trash. They picked him on him all game. Reed won all this money.
Everybody's trash. Everybody's trash. Cornerbacks especially. Cornerbacks are going to get beat.
Now,
Quinion got
let me finish
beat.
the Super real quick.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, Quinion got beat.
Reed wants all this money, but didn't make 2 game-changing plays. No, sir. Let's go, Zander. The Walker train moving. Edges were non-existent, even in Carter's absence. Unacceptable. Carter ain't getting bullied.
Where does Reed want all this money from? Where's that coming from?
I don't know. He just signed athletes first. I think he's looking for the bag, Jeff Kerr.
I think he's
Can't blame him. Can't blame
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he?
Breaking players look for bag.
Yeah. I mean, what do you expect? Of course, he wants the most money he can possibly get. And they'll probably get it for him, by the way.
Well, do you guys think they got to make a move at edge?
Yes.
I have been saying it from day one. It ain't good enough.
It's never been good enough.
I just wonder what the defensive line would have looked like if Jalen was out there and you got a lot of pressure.
Well, it would have been better.
Yeah.
No doubt.
John, I know John can back me up on this. Like, when people were complaining about their edge situation at Dory Jackson last time, like, did you think we were lying to you this whole time?
Well, probably. I thought Josh Uche was he's the most refined pass rusher on this team.
He had a good night last night. I think he ended up a couple pressures. I'll have to look at his numbers.
Yeah, he had 2 good pass rush. I had 2 stand out where I'm like, wow, that was a good pass rush. I see what Lane's talking. He's got this little inside move that gave Lane headaches. He still talks about it from that Patriots game a couple of years ago. Talks about it all the time.
I brought it up to him the other day.
Yeah. Because Lane gets, he doesn't get beat very often. So I have some hope for him, but how realistic can he play 50 snaps a game?
I don't think that was what he was signed here for.
But of all the skipping steps, there's always skipping steps. I talk about it a lot. I don't think there's more skipping steps on any player on this team than Jalen Hunt. To me, it's absurd, the hype on that. I don't think it's fair to him.
It's not. It was always unreal expectations.
Yeah.
And for Nolan Smith, in a sense.
Well, yeah, even Nolan, but not nearly to the level of Jalen, because Nolan is, like I always say about Nolan, I know he's a good player. It's a matter of how good he's going to be. Can he hold up?
Right.
At his size over 17 games in the playoffs. That's my that's more of my concern with Nolan. With Jalen, I don't know if he can play. I hope he can play.
I think one of the biggest surprises from this game to me last night, John, is I know you, me, and Checo like to play who's going to be inactive a lot, and both of our eyes kind of went up when it was Azeez Ojulari who was inactive.
No, I thought he was going to be. I was surprised that it was once I knew Patrick was elevated, I immediately said Azeez is going to be down.
I thought it'd be Ogbo.
See, that's what I thought, Jeff.
I thought, but when both of them were down, that's what I was surprised about. When both of them were down, that was a bad sign to me.
Yeah, you went with 3 edge rushers because I don't think Patrick Johnson took any snaps on the edge, did he? I don't remember.
Yeah, he did. He
had
like 12, I think. He
played. After the rain delay, he played a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was all right, But I thought Patrick should have made the team because he's better than those guys. But for whatever reason, he doesn't have the same ceiling. So, and they got him, they got him back. So I guess ultimately it doesn't matter. But he played 12. He played 12 snaps. So
I had a Giants writer text me. He's gonna be on the team next week. I said, they don't have anything.
Not.
Yeah, but I don't
They're
know.
bringing in Isaiah Foskey this week, probably just for the practice squad. But and who knows? Maybe he was visiting Chicago yesterday, I believe. So maybe he signs there before he even gets here. But he was the 40th pick in the draft a couple of years ago.
He's got a nice bend move.
I don't know if he can play at all, but they need something. They need some juice there.
Yeah, Jeff, what do you think of Landon Dickerson, who went down, couldn't finish the game? I mean, John talks about, and to his credit, I agree. Landon's a very tough dude. He's going to try and play. Is this an instance where you want the team to protect the tough player from himself? I mean, it's not win or go home, Jeff. I know the games are important. I know you want to win them. I know you got to prevail. I know it was a divisional matchup, but, I need Landon Dickerson in January, and whatever I can do to get closer to that reality, I'd like to do. What do you think of the Landon Dickerson situation right now?
Yeah, you know what? John and I were kind of talking about this earlier this week during practice. Maybe the back injury had something to do with the knee injury.
Yeah.
It's correlation. Okay, do you protect this guy from himself? I mean, I love how Landon Dickerson just tries to go out there and do it. I mean, if he can play, he can play. That's the way he operates. But long term, I don't know how long this back injury could linger all season. Back injuries just don't go away.
Yeah, they're difficult. They're difficult to deal with, and you never know where they're going to go. It's one of those issues. But, I have confidence in Landon that he's going to fight through it because if there's anybody who's going to fight through it, it's Landon Dickerson. But this might be that type of thing. Like last year, it was Mekhi Becton in the knee, and every once in a while he'd be out, and Tyler Steen would have to come. Maybe Landon Dickerson's going to have to be that guy this year, and Brett Toth is going to have to finish up in certain games. Not the best scenario, but to Zander's point, I don't think you can approach things that way and say I need him in January. You got to get to January. I get how good the Eagles are. I get that we all think they're going to be there, and it's just a fait accompli. But you saw how close the margin of error is in the NFL. You got to get to January, and you saw it a couple of years ago. It's not they were 10-1 and fell apart. It's not easy to win in this league.
And I'll give Nick Sirianni credit for all this in the world. He's 5-0 in season openers now. He knows how to get this team on the right foot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 5. Yeah. The winning numbers are absurd with Nick Sirianni,
and they just keep getting better. I get so that's why I get so upset when people rank Sirianni where they rank him and they rank Hurts where they rank. I'm like, isn't the coach's job to win?
Yeah, well, it is 100%. John,
the coach's job is to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coach's job is to call plays, evidently.
I could care. I mean, whatever Nick is doing, tough detail together as many times as I got to hear it, it does work.
Maybe you do want to see him be a little bit more emotionally stable as a head coach. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on Nick. I think he's done a great job, but I don't know when Jaylen Carter acts up like that. Again, I'm not blaming Nick for Jaylen Carter's actions, but maybe if your head coach isn't as emotionally reactive, a player like that is. I don't know. I don't know if I'm reaching. I
kind of give Nick more credit because last year he flipped out at Carter. And then they had to separate them. This time it's like, you didn't get any of that. It was
that's true. Speaking of play callers, though,
I think it was probably taken by surprise too. I'm like, what? I was taken by surprise. I'm like, did I hear that right, or was that? I thought like he cut the mic. They cut the mic off live because if you have 2 of those fouls in a game, you're ejected. I thought he was announcing that's the first.
Of 2 fouls.
2, yeah. And I was kind of like, did the mic get cut off?
Morrow said he didn't know.
Yeah. I think a lot of people didn't know.
Yeah, a lot of them did. And they're like, how do you not know? I'm like, because you don't know.
And then you see him walking off with Dom. By the way, shout out to Dom if he's listening. He's trying to fix my biometrics inside baseball.
That was the real story of last night's game, by the way.
Oh, I'm so frustrated.
John was in such a great mood, and then he got a red.
So frustrated by that. But anyway,
I have no clue what you guys are talking about, but I'll digress on it, guys. I'm going to talk about real quick, Jeff. We don't have much time today, Jeff. We got Governor Shapiro coming up right after you, so you're the
governor.
Oh, a legend.
Yeah, you're the lead-in for the governor. But I do want to ask you about Kevin Patullo. All right, James Carver checks in here. He says, please find out why Kevin Patullo's plays seem to all be sticking spots, full of returns and zigs with only like 5 stretch calls, including the one post to Dotson. Beyond that, a few included slants, and 2 of them were scramble drills, and all were 3 to 7 yards. John, you've kind of been talking about this all camp, not pushing the ball down the field. What'd you guys make of that part of it?
Well, James, good to see you back. Love you. Thank you. Welcome to the Eagles offense. It's been that way for 5 years. It's going to continue to be that way. There's not a lot of creativity. There's more motion than normal. You know, you got to give that a little bit of credit. I joked about this. I saw Kevin after the game, congratulated him.
I was right behind him when that happened.
Yeah, I like Kevin a lot. I think you've seen he's a good communicator. I think he's going to be better as a public face than Kellen Moore or even Shane Steichen. Shane was great behind the scenes, but not on the mic. So there's a lot of positives. But yeah, I was surprised how many people thought he had a bad first game. I mean, they started touchdown.
Yeah, their first 4 drives were scores. How's that bad?
I don't know. I don't know. But as far as what James is talking about, yeah, I mean, you don't have Ben Johnson. You're never going to have Ben Johnson, nor should you have Ben Johnson with what they have built their team about. They are about execution. That's what the Eagles are about.
I had a buddy saying to me last night, why do I always feel like the Eagles offense is grandma driving the Ferrari, but the Ferrari still goes 100?
Yeah, that's I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know who said that, but I like it.
I had a buddy who texted me that last night, and I thought it was pretty funny.
That is pretty good. Jeff, your final thought, man. I want to make sure we're ready for the Gov coming up. So just your final thought in the game, brother. Look, ugly game as we expected, and the Birds are 1-0. You win the night because of that. Obviously, there's a lot to dissect, but it's week 1. We expected it to be ugly. Birds get out of there with a win. Your final thought, Jeff Kerr.
Look, I think they took care of a lesser opponent, if I'm going to be honest. I thought that they had their backs against the wall with the Carter thing, but I thought Jalen played well. I thought the offense moved the ball well. That rain delay just changed so much of what I thought of this game. It affected both teams. Honestly, Zander, I kind of wish both teams would have got half an hour to warm up instead of 15 minutes.
What did you just say?
You heard me. If I do not like how you only get 15 minutes after a rain delay.
Oh my God. Make it 5.
Yeah, what?
Oh, I know. Well, you couldn't wait to get out of there.
You wanted to extend that thing? I thought there was plenty of time.
Yeah.
But I get it.
You can't criticize me for asking about Jake Elliott at 2:00 in the morning.
I actually didn't mind that question. They took away everything else.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's not the question. You know what why everybody's giving you.
Yeah, exactly. But the point is, Nick was taking one more question, so and
he looked right at you.
Yeah. So, what am I going to do?
It was
Not
a big
take
play
the
of the game. Now, by the way, Nick is lying when he said the AJ Brown catch was the biggest play of the game. Come on.
Oh, that was Jalen who said that.
Oh, was that Jalen? I thought it was Nick. See, I'm losing it.
Well, we all were losing it. That was Jalen who said that. And yes, it's absurd. It was not the biggest play of the game.
In my mind, the biggest play of the game was a 51-yard pass to John Dotson. He threw on the money.
I think Zach Baughn's play was the biggest play in hindsight.
Yeah, that might have been, John. I might agree with you on that.
Chasing down Miles. Yeah. And that's not even a good play, but that's a relentless
What's crazy play. Is you could say that was his second best play.
Yeah.
He had to play in the end. So
there's a lot of good plays, but I think when you talk Jake's field goal that was huge.
58 yards. He only had one 50-yard field goal all last year.
I think that thing could have been good from 70.
It looked like it could have been between him and Brandon Aubrey. I just get amazed.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a kick.
One final thing I will say, Zander.
Go ahead.
I really liked how the defense adjusted in the second half.
They get 0 points. They give 0 points.
Yeah, 0 points. Beck, baby. Beck, give Beck extra time. Yeah. That's the thing.
He doesn't have the horses he did last year, but he's still getting it done.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Jeff Kerr, thanks for joining in today.
Thanks for getting up.